As you can see, thankfully we're on the last one in the franchise, the Child's Play franchise. Now, yes, and as you can see, yes. Now moving on to Curse of Chucky. Okay, quick recap. I love Child's Play 1. Classic. I love the first film, it's a classic. Capable cast, good actors. Chris Sarandon, Catherine Hicks, Alex Vincent, Brad Dourif. Then comes with Child's Play 2. Alex Vincent coming back as Andy. He does a good job again in the second film. Christina Lee as Kyle. Strong character who's not a damsel in distress, you know, she's not a victim in it. Had a couple of nitpicks, like I didn't care for the foster parents. Love the setting in the toy factory. Great ending. Especially Andy gets a badass moment where he just dumps the hot plastic on Chucky. Child's Play 3. I like the sequel. It's another good sequel. Like I like the ideas that at the location that it took place in a military academy. I like the idea that when Chucky took the paintball bullets out of guns and putting real ammo in. I like the ending at the carnival. Cool looking carnival, especially like I said before, it's the most dangerous ride I can ever be on, especially with sharp weapons that can kill you. But aside from that point, I still like the ending at the carnival. Justin Whalen did good as an older Andy. The girl, Perry Reeves as Kristen, she was fine as well. I thought she was pretty good as well. And like I said, and I've read this whenever I say that the effects of Chucky, they were well done. The first 1 and 3, the effects of Chucky were good, and then the number 2, Child's Play 2, the effects I thought were top notch on Chucky. Brad Dourif once again doing a good job in both 2 and 3. Then came, and also like I said before, it was the last. Child's Play 3 was the last one that we got a straightforward horror seriousness and darkness of the Child's Play films, which was Child's Play 3. And then came Bride of Chucky, which took a whole new different turn, which was they took the comic route because of Don Mancini brand of ideas, so we had nowhere else to go, so we had just went to the comedy route. It's an okay film. I can still watch it, but I like it. It's all the other films are up here, but it's the Bride of Chucky is all the way down here. I can still watch it, but it's an okay film, and I didn't rant on it, even though I have a lot of issues with it. Especially, I did not like Jennifer Tilly. I don't care for I don't like the rest of the cast, like Katherine Heigl, Nick Stable, or the other characters, except for John Ritter. It has some good gore. Brad Dourif once again is doing what is good in the voice of Chucky. 1 or 2 lines that I chuckled at, but for the most part, the humor I did not find funny. And so, like I said, it's an okay time waster. I can watch it, but I watch it a lot less and less. But it wasn't a rant. It was an okay film, but I like it a lot less. Then came Seed of Chucky, which was a total piece of shit. Completely utterly, embarrassingly piece of shit. Because now it got into so much more into more comedy that the jokes I did not find funny, especially the part where Chucky was masturbating. We had to see that because it's supposed to be funny. With Jennifer Tilly playing as herself this time, I did not give a shit about. Including the other supporting characters, Redman or other rest of the cast, like human characters, I did not give a shit about. Like I said, the funny humor is including, the funny jokes. Oh, John Waters got killed with a bad CGI effect on his face from acid. Or the joke, oh, look, there's Britney Spears. Oh, Chucky killed Britney Spears, ran him off the road, and a car explodes. That's supposed to be funny. I did not find that funny. The film got good. The film had some good gore, especially the guy got his head popped off with a wire, or Redman's stomach got cut open, and his guts fell out. And then I thought that, and I did not mind that the character of Glenn or Glenda. I never minded that character. It's the only part of the film I was taken seriously for that character. Well, Brad Dourif, he was another problem. He once again was good in the voice as Chucky once again, and including its dumb ending, where Glenn was doing kung fu, and which is another thing I forgot to mention. He spoke Japanese or Chinese. I forget which one it was. How did he learn that? I don't know how. I don't know how. That was another thing I didn't mention in that rant. He spoke Chinese or Japanese. I forget which one it is. Did stupid, silly kung fu shit, killing Chucky very easily, cut him to pieces. In the ending, where Glenn is a now human boy, and he just got attacked by Chucky's arm. But overall, yeah, the film was still a horrendous piece of shit. And now you come to this, which I threw, which I don't care if I threw it, because it's a... And I forgot when I said in my rant on Seed of Chucky, I thought that film, and this one were equally bad. I gotta take that back. After watching this film again, this is utterly worse than Seed of Chucky. Because this film is it's completely effing boring. So boring, especially with a couple scenes that dragged on for so long that I just wanted to fast forward to get to the point of it. More characters I did not give a rat's ass about, except for the only human character I thought was pretty decent was the character Nika, the lead girl in the wheelchair, which really enough is played by Fiona Dourif, who's the daughter of Brad Dourif. She was the only human character that I thought was pretty decent, because she had a couple of good lines that she says to Chucky. But the other human characters I did not care about at all. They were all horrible, terrible. Chucky's back and better than ever. Yeah, right, my ass. This film is the worst. This is absolutely the worst one in the franchise. Yeah, Seed of Chucky was a total piece of shit, but this, and really enough, like, David Kirshner came back as producer, but really enough, Don Mancini not only once again wrote the film, but he came back and directed like he did for Seed of Chucky. This guy should not direct another film, let alone another Child's Play film ever again. Because now he's now with this film, he's now sunk the franchise now. The franchise, like, 1, 2, and 3 were up here, but then came down with Bride of Chucky, and then it sunk lower, deeper into the abyss with Seed of Chucky, and then now it's hit the bottom with this film. And this film got a lot of praise, surprisingly enough, although not on IMDb, because it has a 5.6. Because a while back I thought it had a 5.9, but then it had a 5.6, so it went down, which it deserves. In fact, it deserves even lower, because this has higher ratings than all the other Chucky sequels, except for the first film. and which is also, surprisingly enough, this is an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I'll never understand. 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is the highest rating of the whole franchise, more than the first Child's Play film, which has a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think, over, remember, 69%. Why is it has an 80%? I have no idea why. The first film should deserve that 8%. But it's all my opinion, but I don't understand why this film gets such an 80% rating. Well, maybe it's because since the previous film was so more on the comedy than horror and darkness, because that's what maybe he thought he can save it by switching back to the way it was, with adding more of a dark tone and seriousness, with no comedy, with no dumb jokes. Well, guess what? If he did that, if Don Mancini decided to do that, it's too little, too late now. I hate this movie. I hate this movie so much. Like I said before, the only human character that I thought was pretty decent was the character Nika, the girl in the wheelchair, Fiona Dourif, played by the daughter of Brad Dourif. Okay, now, getting into the plot. Okay, it opens up in this big house, in the middle of nowhere, where Nika, Fiona Dourif, she's in a wheelchair. She's paralyzed from the waist down. Her mother's painting, and then she gets a package, which, of course, really enough, it contains Chucky in it. And then later the night, she finds that her mother's dead, which they assume it was she committed suicide. She assumed that she committed suicide. Then her older sister and her family comes in, including with her husband, her daughter, and the nanny that's with her, and also straight up, all these human characters, these characters, I hated that they were all horrible, especially the older sister. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, which is what I want to do on this movie. Just freaking sneeze on this movie. The older sister is horrible and terrible, especially the character. She's a bitch. Plain simple, that's what she is. She's also a busybody. She wants to tell us, oh, you can do this, do that, or especially mean to her younger sister. Okay. That's what she is. She's a bitch. That's basically what she is. And including also the priest that comes in as well with them. And then they have dinner. The girl, Nika, has dinner, and also she gives the doll to the girl. And also, well, before the dinner scene, which I'll get into, the girl has to go to the bathroom. And then, for some reason, we hear, well, anyone who's in the film, we actually hear the little girl taking a piss on the toilet, and then, when she's done, she goes behind the shower curtains, and there's Chucky with this, I guess I could say, this pedophile-looking face, smiley face, like this. And that's the one thing I could say is the doll, this is a $5 million budget film, it's low budget, and the doll is very cheap looking. The effects on Chucky in this is very horrible, which is sad because Child's Play 1 through 3, the effects on Chucky was good, especially number 2. Very well done effects on Chucky, especially the second film. The effects on Chucky and Bride and Seed of Chucky, it's a little bit of a step down, but especially I hated when he had the scars on his face. Bride and Seed of Chucky was silly, and I hated the look of him on that. But the thing is, the doll itself looks cheap, much cheap than all the other films put together. And plus, he has like for some reason, he has like much longer hair, and he looks like the doll looks more like a girl. And just the look of the doll itself looks more cheap, especially around the face. And like I said before, the girl opens up the shower curtains. He has that freakishly weird pedophile-looking smile, like this. Uh, and then it comes to the dinner. Then comes to the dinner scene, where they fix the dinners and they step up for a second. Chucky puts rat poisoning in one of them, and which, for some reason, I guess Don Mancini thought it was a good idea that it slowly zooms in onto the towards the one plate of chili, which is chili, with the rat poisoning. It goes on for like a full 30 seconds, very slowly zooming in towards the bowl of chili. And then, when it comes to the table, when it puts on the table, it zooms out very slowly, all focusing on top of the whole table, full circle. Everyone sits down, and it keeps them going, wandering in 360 around of everybody eating. Even shows up close to the people's mouths eating the chili. And this scene of them just eating dinner just drags and drags and drags. This goes on for like the whole scene, probably the whole scene that all told for them of them eating dinner is practically like 5 minutes. Because it felt like that. It felt like a full 5 minutes, even longer. Just them eating chili, and shows them zooming down with their mouths, eating and eating. This is why I mean this is why I mean this is so horrendously boring. Because like as somebody zooms in very slowly, it becomes very boring, and then it cuts to the priest. He's the one who ate the bowl of chili with the rat poisoning, and then he starts not feeling right, and he starts sweating, and the people ask, "Are you all right? You don't look too well." He says, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I just gotta go to the church." I'm like, you're a priest, and you just go out and lie, saying that you're fine, even though when you and them could see that you're not feeling well, and then you just go straight up and lie, saying, I'm fine, I just need to go. You're a priest, why can't you just straight up and say, and tell the truth? It says, yes, I'm not feeling very well, do you have, like, any, aspirins, or Pepto-Bismol, or whatever? Because it might be the chili, I might have some heartburn, something like that. No, you don't ask for any of that, or can I just go and lie down or something? I don't know. He just goes and lies and says he has to go. This is silly and stupid, completely utterly stupid. And then of course the next thing it cuts to that he got in a car crash, and these two cops, which I didn't get, which thought they were terrible too. They see him like this, and he's like this. I don't know, like part of like the roof of the car or something is like this, and by the time they get off him, his head falls off. Granted, it's practical, his head falls off practical, and then although blood spurts out from the neck though, but it looked like I don't think blood would spurt out that much from the neck, even when the head falls off though. But yeah. And then they're watching home movies of their childhood. Well, with the girl's mom pregnant with the younger sister, which is Nika. At this family picnic, and they see a mysterious guy, a long-haired guy with sunglasses, and of course I'm like, let me guess, that's Charles Lee Ray when he was alive, right? Because that's what he looked like in the first film. Of course, it is Charles Lee Ray, because we know that, but they don't know that yet. And then Nika tries to call because the package where Chucky came from, but then there's a storm. the telephones don't work, the cell phones don't work, that breaks up the call. And another thing gets thrown in there. Oh, the girl, the older sister, goes in the kitchen with the nanny, and lo and behold, they're lesbians. Great, they decided to throw that in there. They're kissing, and then yeah, that was nice. That just throw that in out of the blue. The older sister is a lesbian with the nanny. Yeah. Stupid. So then, the older sister goes upstairs, tucks in the daughter. Chucky's in the bed. She gets scared, goes underneath the covers, and there's Chucky looking like, once again, with the face change again. Looks very cheap looking. So the girl says, "I'm scared," and then real Chucky goes, "You should be fucking scared." I mean, Brad Dourif, I know it's nice that Brad Dourif comes back once again as the voice of Chucky, but the doll looks so cheap looking, and especially the lines of dialogue that Chucky says in this film were lame. Even the kills in this film, his victims are lame as hell as anyway. Like with the nanny, she's on a laptop, she's like webcam with the older sister watching, and then for some reason, okay, she's watching the nanny on her computer, and then she sees, Chucky walks past her this way, and then she says she's right behind you, which she was referring to Alice, which is the younger daughter. I'm like, okay, your daughter is blonde, and yet you assume that your daughter walking past you is a red. Who if you thought is a redhead, which is Chucky. I'm like, you can't even tell the difference between your daughter who's blonde and Chucky is redhead. But she thought that was her daughter. You can't even tell your daughter apart because why? I have no idea. And I don't care because this film is so stupid, and including the characters are stupid and they're horrible as well. So yeah. Okay, so Chucky walks past the woman like this way, which the woman thought it was her daughter. Why? I have no idea. He has a knife, but he doesn't stab the woman, the nanny. She looks at him, kicks his bucket of water, which I guess there was a leak in the roof, I guess. Kicks over the pail of water and towards the electric outlet connecting to the laptop, and she gets electrocuted. Horrible looking effects. How the electricity shocks her. It's horrible looking. Her eyes smoking. But horrible, including it's such a horrible, lame death. And then he says this line, which I thought was as horrible as well, as like, women can't. He said women can't live with them. Period. The kills in this film are such a horrible, except for which I'll get to though. But for the most part, these kills are so lame and horrible. I mean, you have Child's Play 3. Andrew Robertson, the military barber, gets his throat cut. Even Chucky said a much better death line than that. It's like, presto, you're dead. It's definitely you. That's a much better kill. Or even let's see. Whoa, what is better? Child's Play 2. Even the assistant guy put the bag over his head, suffocating him, or even the toy worker gets his eyes gouged out by the plastic eyes. Even the the first film, where the first film, the doctor at the end of the film gets electrocuted by this thing he puts on his head and fries to death. Or even and when you say even John Ritter's death in Bride of Chucky was much more better than any of these deaths in the film. And I said it because it's sad to see John Ritter die by Chucky though, but at the same time I would say his death is a much better death than any death in this movie. Like I said before, I like John Ritter. I just didn't like seeing him getting killed by Chucky. But aside from that, though, his death is a much better looking death than any death in this film. Even because even including got nails put into his face. But and then also Fiona Dourif, she's looking up about about the Goo Guy doll. Hey, looking up and finds that the article on Andy Barclay, picture of Alex Vincent with the doll, Andy Barclay, and then she gets into a fight with her bitchy sister, what she thought was she knew what she was talking about. It turns out to be something different. The bitchy sister is being an asshole to her. Says fuck you to the younger sister. Takes the doll to the attic. Now this is another thing. Another long drag out scene. Is this scene in the attic takes so long? I just wanted to fast forward it till it gets to the point where it's done. Because she's in the attic, which took the whole scene was like about, I think like the same thing as the scene at the dinner table, was like 5 or more minutes. She finds the knife on Chucky, sets it down next to him so he can take it again. She's looking around because he thought that their daughter is in the attic, but no, she's not. And then she turns back to the doll and she peels, which I thought was silly as well, because it's supposed to be it's taking place after Seed of Chucky, because he still has the scars when she starts peeling the makeup of his face off. So it has to be taking place after Bride and Seed of Chucky, because he still has the scars. And also when she's putting her finger to his mouth, don't put your finger to his mouth. He could just bite her finger off. Then he comes alive. He peels the rest of the stuff off and see his full scars. He's still looking like how he was in Bride of Seed of Chucky, but still looks silly as shit as well. Goes up to her face, says, "You have your mother's eyes. They're too fucking close." Stabs and takes her left eye out as Fiona Dourif is trying to pull herself all the way up the stairs to the attic, and the eyeball falls down like a bouncy ball. Then the body falls down. Then you get this horrendous. Chucky's walking down the stairs and horrible CGI. Now this is the first time I see Chucky's fully CGI, because up until this point, all the Chucky films, he's been practical, real doll. Up until that point where he's walking down the stairs and such horrible looking CGI. She gets to another wheelchair, locks herself in with the husband, which I swear, because I'm sure some people said this before, but I swear the guy looks like Mark Ruffalo. Even when I forgot to mention at the start is when I first saw the trailer, when the guy says in the trailer says it's a doll. What else could happen? I swore that guy looked like Mark Ruffalo. I swear. I'm sure other people have said the same thing, but that was my first initial reaction in that trailer. And plus, the trailer was horrible anyway, just like this movie is. Saw the trailer when it first came out, and I hated the trailer. But like I said before, my initial reaction was, does that guy kind of look like Mark Ruffalo? I'm sure other people have said it as well, but Maybe I could just throw my 2 cents in it. But that's how my initial reaction was. So he gets the old sister's husband, and then also for some reason he picks her when he's picking her up downstairs. It's all this like this. It's in slow mo, long drag out of slow mo, which he gets all the way downstairs and through the kitchen, all in slow mo. It looks slow mo because they're just like going downstairs, like this and pushing her like this. Why is in slow mo? I have no idea. Could have been normal. Then she gets locked into the garage, and Chucky attempted to kill her with the car exhaust. She gets a hatchet and it breaks up the window, but the sister's husband, I think it was the character named Ian, I think it was. And now for some reason he thinks that she did this. He thinks that she committed the murders. I'm like, how? How could she commit all the murders? Because she's in a wheelchair. She has to make a lot of effort to kill somebody because she's in a wheelchair. I don't know how, but he assumes that she has done this, and then she needs to. I guess she's having like this symptom, this like side effect that she has. Like he takes out a syringe. He's telling him to inject this into her, but he doesn't, and she passes out. And then when she wakes up, she's tied to the wheelchair. And she says that, how'd you do this? Why, Like I said before, she's in a wheelchair. How could she commit all those things? Because she's the only person that's around. And then of course you get another stupid scene. He goes on the laptop and he looks at the camera because if I remember, I thought he put a camera on Chucky. For what I remember, and he sees the camera move, like that certain height where the height that Chucky is. He sees the camera move, and then up until the point where he's sitting on the couch and you see Chucky's arm move, and he doesn't put that together in his head right away, cause thinking the doll is alive, because that camera from that height, which is Chucky's height, is moving, and he even sees Chucky's arm move like this, and not a second thought in his head, he doesn't put that together, that the doll's alive. Until he's also getting to the point it's a live feed, and the camera is right behind Nika in the wheelchair. It was right behind him until he pushes the wheelchair and knocks the guy down. And then takes the hatchet. Okay, it's a good looking effect where he takes the hatchet and cuts like the guy's mouth off like up to here, this part here. This is my mind. This film makes me want to sneeze on the film. I really do. I really feel like I just want to sneeze on this film, like just. So yeah, like I said before, cuts off like the guy's lower half of the mouth and chin like this. Good looking gore effect, but that does not save the movie not one little bit. It didn't mean anything. One nice little gore effect does not help save this movie not one little bit. It's practically forgettable as all the other deaths in this movie. So. And then he starts pushing the wheelchair. Horrible CG effect where you see him pushing her down the hall in the wheelchair. Horrible CG effect on Chucky. And another thing, okay, pushes her off the second level of the second level of the house. She falls all the way down. Well, cool. I know she's paralyzed from the waist down. She wouldn't feel anything in her legs because he took a hatchet and she lifted the wheelchair up and she. Make herself get stabbed in the leg because she couldn't feel anything. But she falls down all the way to the first floor, face down, and it's also a marble floor, so you're thinking if it's a hard marble floor, besides that she couldn't feel anything in her legs, so she couldn't feel anything, but up here, she didn't, break anything, not even her face. Because she lands, face down on the floor, I assume, parts of that side of her face is broken. but evidently not. And then Chucky starts explaining. We get a flashback about how, because he was a friend of the family in that. No, remember the scene in the home movies. That scene, how he's a friend of the families of her mother's family. Her father dies, and then basically then it cuts to like a scene before the opening of the first film, because he's wearing the same clothing they wore in the first film, but it's before the opening of the first film, where her pregnant Nika's mother was pregnant with her. She's in this room, which for some reason I thought it made it like a rip off of Sin City, because like Sin City is black and white, but there are certain like elements that are not black and white, which is color like red or something. Because there's a room full of yellow flowers, and they're really colored yellow and not black and white with the rest of the scene. But and then so somehow she called the cops on him, and then he gets pissed, and you get the idea that she stabbed her in the stomach, and that's how the girl became paralyzed from the waist down. And then you get the flashback. Well, continuing off of that, that's when you get the opening scene of the first Child's Play film, where he gets chased by Chris Sarandon in the toy store. He gets shot, then he puts his soul into the good guy doll. Yeah, it's the same opening scene. They took the opening scene of the first film and put that in the flashback. That's which also ultimately that's how he was on the run, because of that scene with the pregnant mother. And I'm like, okay, this is another thing that they just pulled out of the rest, because like in Bride of Chucky, all of a sudden out of nowhere there was the amulet that was never mentioned in the previous films. Same thing here. Same thing. The first one never explained why he was on the run. And even including in the flashback of that scene, never mentioned his partner in crime, Eddie, that drove away leaving him. Never explained that. So, and then even mentions the family, a couple of the families from the previous films, like Andy Barclay, the Tillys, and the other family, which I thought was I forget what the name was that other family was. I think it was the foster parents. I forget, but there was another family mentions from the previous film. And then I like this line of dialogue that Fiona Dourif says. You killed me. It's like you killed me 25 years ago. Must be the slowest murder in history. You killed Andy Barclay. You didn't kill Andy Barclay, did you? It's like called what was it? Something anxiety mostly common in males. You are a male, aren't you? And then it says you killed me 25 years ago. This must be the slowest murder in history. So I like that line that she says. And again, I thought Fiona Dourif was pretty decent in the film. The only decent character in the movie, human character in the movie, or even more decent than Chucky himself. I mean, Brad Dourif is doing the best he can, but it's like it was some kind of. Even Seed and Bride of Chucky, he was good though, but in this film it seemed off for some reason. I mean, even Brad Dourif can't say this movie either. I think the only character I thought was human character in this film was her, but really, to be honest, because the doll looks cheap and the character herself was horrible looking, and the kill scenes, the deaths are lame as hell. The dialogue he says is horrible. So then she get to the elevator, close the door, and he opens it. Well, one thing I forgot to mention, which I thought was dumb as well. Before she got knocked off the thing, she got the hatch and popped his head off. Now, is this still taking place after Seed and Project? Because by that time he was still human. He still was bleeding blood. He never tried to get his soul out. So, but when she cut the his head off, no blood or anything, because it's still the same body. but it's not a new body where it's no blood at all. He's just starting out as a new body. I have no idea. And then once you get into the element, he gets into the elevator, he stabs her, and there's no. I thought there was blood, but I thought that it looked like some white stuff. I thought like stuff like cotton or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember because this film was so forgettable as well. I didn't remember that part, but I thought it was. And then the cop comes in, sees her with blood, including holding the bloody knife. Chucky's sitting on a chair, and then didn't he get one of the 4 different endings, which I counted was like 4 endings, all into one. First, it shows that all the evidence points to the girl. She's guilty. She's gonna be put in a criminal mental institution. And now she's turned insane. She's like taunting the doll in the courtroom. I'm alive, you son of a bitch. You hear me? I'm alive. Ha! I'm still alive. The girl tried her best though, and like I said, how she commit the murders because she's in a wheelchair. But well, except for the rat poison, because she can be able to do that though. But do all the other ones, no. So yeah, now she's gonna be in a mental institution for criminally insane, and she's now gone insane, which sucks because I thought she was pretty decent, and now she's now totally insane. And then comes the second ending where, well, it's not. I would say it's not really second because the movie's still going on, not done yet though, but might as well be. Then he gets a cop who takes the doll in a black garbage bag and gets into his car, calling, saying, "Hey, where's my money?" It's basically they're doing the same thing in the opening of Bride of Chucky, where a cop takes him from the evidence locker in a black bag and gets his throat slit by Tiffany, Jennifer Tilly. And they do the same thing again. Cop takes the garbage bag with Chucky in it, calls, waits for it, says he wants his money, then gets his throat slit by Tiffany, once again, played by Jennifer Tilly. Which was a cameo appearance, but didn't matter. It was still annoying to see her. She was no need for her to be in this movie. And then it shows her go into the next she goes to the bag. Who's next? So I guess that she's the one who's been mailing. She's been mailing Chucky to the locations, like to the house and etc. And to even because she goes to the post office and mails. We were talking to the woman at the front counter, which she was still annoying in it. But then she mailed it to the little girl's house, who was with her grandma because both her parents are dead, and it's her and her grandma. She finds Chucky on the table saying, "Want to play hide and seek? No, let's play hide the soul." And now another confusing part is that it's still the same body, and remember, if you spend too much time in that body, he can't get the soul transferred. So he's in the body permanently. Oh, but remember, because he got his head cut off and there was no blood in it, so it has to be a new body. But then he starts saying the chant to the girl, Dembell or whatever. But still, it's still the same body. You see, if you took all the time from Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, he's still in the same body, and that's way too long. So he should be permanently trapped in the doll. But yet, he's still performing the chants. I don't know why. Because it's just, to me, from what I know all the time, he never transferred the soul once. So he's still the same body. Whatever. And then there's and then it starts moving away from them. And then, a supposed jump scare, which is also, it shows the grandma with a black bag over her face, popping up like this. And even that's another thing, that seeing the look of the grandma with a bag over her face, it reminds me of that shitty remake from Black Christmas. I swear. Because in that shitty remake of Black Christmas, the black garbage bags over the people's face, and it looks exactly like that. I swear. And how could he do those things so many rip-offs from? This movie was so horrible. This is definitely the worst in the franchise. Now it comes to probably probably what some people would say, comes to the best part of the movie for me. The best part of the movie, which I wish I would have seen this. I also could have wished they made this to a movie, which I would love to see. But no. This is after the end. This is after all the end credits. Once again, Chucky's being delivered in another package. Throat's getting a little dry again. And Billy gets delivered to a guy. And lo and behold, that's Alex Vincent as Andy again. An adult, and Alex Vincent is now an adult, and he's now playing Andy again. That's even as I said before, Fiona Dourif as Nika was the only decent character of those people. But seeing this, Alex Vincent once again playing Andy Barclay in a very cameo appearance. Best part of the movie. This is the best part of the movie. I'm sure a lot of people would say that too. And this is one thing I said that Don Mancini got right. Okay. Takes him to his apartment, and the phone rings. And who's he speaking to? It's his mom. He's speaking to us and was like, "Oh, hi, Mom. How you doing?" Because in Child's Play 2, at the beginning of the film, it said that she was under psychic evaluation, which means I thought she was like put in an asylum for an insane asylum. And they never mentioned anything with it again, so you never knew what happened to her. Well, guess what? It was fixed in this, which I appreciated, because that was a nitpick for me in Child's Play 2 because of that. Never knew what happened to the mother again, which I thought was that sucked for a second. But this was fixed in that. He's talking to his mom and she's alright. She's like no longer under psychic evaluation. She's perfectly fine. So I would give Don Mancini this. That part is fixed with the mom, and then Alex Vincent goes, or Andy says, "How's Mike?" Which was the cop that Chris Sarandon played in the first film. And he's doing fine as well. So that with the mom and the cop, Catherine Hicks and Chris Sarandon, which was fixed. So I appreciated that. And another thing I appreciate, which I really did like, is that okay, as he comes to the table, he has a military diploma, which was mention of Child's Play 3, because he was in the military academy. So he has a military diploma, which I liked and appreciated, and it shows a picture of Kyle, Christina Lee's from Child's Play 2, and I like that. And then it shows the picture again of Alex Vincent when he played Andy Barclay from the first film, and with his mom, Catherine Hicks, like the same picture from Child's Play that he had from Child's Play 3. I like that. I thought that was a good thing, that he's still in contact with his mom, and that Chris Sarandon, and with Kyle, has a picture of Kyle, and the military academy diploma, and the picture. And then one thing I thought was how Holloway ended is that Chucky gets out of the box, he sees the picture, and he's gonna getting really mad because that's Andy Barclay again, and then all of a sudden he turns around. Andy Barclay has a shotgun pointing to his face and says, "Play with this." He says, "Andy," and then of course we don't see Chucky's face gets blown off. It cuts to in the credits as Alex Vincent as Andy Barclay, but you do hear the gunshot. I like that. That was the best part of the movie, and I wish that was the movie. Sadly enough, that was the best part of the movie. Alex Vincent, is now an adult Andy, and mentioning of his mom, Catherine Hicks, which is still Catherine Hicks because this is the picture. Mentioning of Mike, the cop that Chris Sarandon played. The picture of Kyle from Child's Play 2, the military academy diploma for Child's Play 3, and the same picture of him with his mom. I like that. At least Don Mancini, at least he got right. He fixed what happened. At least he fixed what happened to his mom from Child's Play 2. Now she's fine. And in mentioning of Mike from Chris Sarandon, because he never Never mentioned him from Child's Play 2, so at least that was fixed as well. So at least that's what Don Mancini got right, was fixing that with his mom and the cop, and mentioning those other things from Child's Play 2 and 3. And ending like that with Andy shooting Chucky in the face with a shotgun, saying, "Play with this." So I like that. That was the best part of the movie. But it's a shame because this film was a horrendous, total piece of shit. It was boring as hell. Terrible, horrible, even generic, I would say, because that's what it looks like. It's a total generic film. And it's sad because Child's Play 1 is a classic horror film that I love. Child's Play 2 is a solid sequel, fun sequel. Child's Play 3 I was entertained by. Bride of Chucky, I like it okay, time waster wise, but I like it a lot less, more. Seed of Chucky was what it was. It's still a piece of shit though, but this was even much more horrible than Seed of Chucky. Because the whole cast of these characters, except for Fiona Dourif, excluding Alex Vincent though, but the whole rest of the movie, the whole entire movie, this is like one of the worst casting of characters, even worse cast of characters than Seed of Chucky or even Bride of Chucky. I hated the characters except for Fiona Dourif, the older sister who was an asshole to the younger sister, busybody as well, including that she had a stupid line saying to the husband when she gets into the fight was like, because she said that the husband works at Starbucks and he says latte making loser. And then of course, the priest lying, saying they know that he was sick, but he says he feels fine, he has to go, lying to them. Even the long drag-out scenes at the dinner table, and this older sister in the attic. Chucky's lines of dialogue were horrible. Not even Brad Dourif was off. It looked like he was off on this film. I know, even though it was nice to him still playing the voice though, but it's along with the character. The doll was cheap looking. The CG, the scenes when he was CG was horrible. The score was horrible as well. Hated the score to the film. All the stupidness. I'm trying to think of everything else. I'm already forgetting this one, which I want to forget because it's such a freaking the worst film in the franchise. Oh yeah, seeing Jennifer Tilly again, which I hated as well, as Tiffany. Always a cameo appearance, but it doesn't matter. All the other rest of the characters I care about, except for Fiona Dourif, and best part, even though she was decent and she had a couple good lines to say to Chucky at the end of the film. But yeah, she was decent though, but it sucked what happened to the character because then now she was accused of the murders and now she's totally insane now. Then the other endings were horrible as well, even confusing as well, because like I said, with the errors about him with the body and whatever, like I said before. But the best part of the entire movie was the very last scene at the end of the movie, after the credits. Alex Vincent once again playing Andy Barclay, and all of the things I mentioned positively about that ending scene. I wish there was a whole movie of that, but I'm almost an hour in talking about this film. This huge rant. Chucky's back and better than ever from this person from Bloody Disgusting. Yeah. And even another one here. Delightfully Deadly. Oh, it was deadly, alright. Completely deadly, that it was very horrible. It makes you want to puke. 80% Rotten Tomatoes, I don't understand why. The highest rating film in the franchise, even more higher than the first film. I call it was such bullshit. The first one deserves that rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done here. I'm stopping. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about anymore about this movie. Yeah. After this, I just want to go and watch put on a good movie now. Didn't mean to take this long though, but I decided to let it all out because this is an absolute total piece of shit. Anyway, first film classic, solid. Number 2, solid fun. Number 3, I thought it was entertaining. 4, okay, time waster. 5, 5, piece of shit. But the last film, way more horrible than the first, more than Seed of Chucky. Even more of a piece of shit. Bullshit. So yeah, I already said my positives on it. So I'm gonna stop right here. I don't want to go into an hour on this thing. So yeah. So thanks for watching, and my review of the Child's Play franchise. Even I had to mention really quick, they said they're gonna do another sequel, which a while back they said they're gonna do a remake. I don't want to see no more any more Child's Play films. Even if Brad Dourif's coming back as Chucky, I don't want to see no more. After following Seed of Chucky, and then even more horrible Curse of Chucky, Don Mancini should stop directing because he just sunk the franchise down into the abyss, and it's never gonna resurface again. I don't want to see any more Child's Play films. So there. Stopping right here, but hopefully you enjoyed my review of the Child's Play franchise. Now I'm gonna go back into review other ones wherever I want to review. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.